Most people believe the hardest part of being a parent is working long hours, paying bills, or surviving on little sleep. But sometimes, the hardest part is standing in front of your child and realizing that the one thing they want most in the world costs less than a family dinner, yet it's still more than you can afford. And what happened inside a crowded toy store on a little girl's birthday would remind everyone who witnessed it that a single moment can change the course of a family's life forever. A crowded toy store. A little girl stared longingly at a Barbie doll displayed on a shelf. Her mother knelt beside her, eyes filled with tears. A single mother stood in a toy store, holding her daughter's hand. It was her little girl's birthday, and she wanted only one thing: a Barbie doll. But what happened next would leave everyone in that store speechless. "Sweetheart, I'm sorry. Mommy can't afford that Barbie today." The little girl's smile slowly faded. But neither of them knew that a billionaire CEO standing nearby had heard every word. For a few seconds, nothing happened. The sounds of shopping carts rolling across the floor continued. Children laughed in nearby aisles. Cash registers chimed in the distance. To everyone else, it was just another ordinary afternoon. Yet for one mother and her daughter, it felt like the world had suddenly become very quiet. The little girl kept looking at the doll. She didn't cry. She didn't throw a tantrum. She didn't beg. Instead, she gently placed the Barbie back on the shelf and wrapped her small arms around her mother's neck. And that simple gesture made the situation even more heartbreaking. The mother lowered her head, trying to hide the tears gathering in her eyes. She had spent years protecting her daughter from the weight of financial struggles. She had skipped meals so her child could eat. She had worked late nights cleaning offices. She had accepted every extra shift she could find. Yet on this birthday, after giving everything she had, she still couldn't afford a toy that many shoppers would buy without a second thought. Before we go any further, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The young mother, whom we'll call Emma, had never imagined life would turn out this way. A decade earlier, she had dreams that looked very different. She planned to attend college, build a career, and create a stable future. Then life began testing her in ways she never expected. After becoming a mother, everything changed. Suddenly, every decision revolved around her daughter, Lily. Every dollar had a purpose. Every sacrifice had a reason. And despite the challenges, Emma never complained. Friends often described her as the kind of person who would help others even when she needed help herself. But the months leading up to Lily's 7th birthday had been especially difficult. Rent had increased. Unexpected medical bills had arrived. Her car needed repairs. The little savings she had managed to build disappeared one expense at a time. By the time Lily's birthday arrived, Emma's bank account contained barely enough money to cover groceries for the week. Yet Lily had only one birthday wish, one Barbie doll. Just one. For weeks, she had talked about it. She had circled pictures in store catalogs. She had imagined outfits for the doll. She had even planned tea parties she wanted to host with her new toy. Emma listened to every word and silently hoped she could somehow make it happen. But reality had other plans. What Lily didn't know was that her mother had already spent several nights searching online for discounts and second-hand options. She had compared prices, checked local listings, even considered selling a few personal belongings. Nothing worked, and now they stood together in the toy store facing a truth Emma wished she could hide forever. Meanwhile, a man several feet away had stopped browsing entirely. At first glance, he appeared to be an ordinary customer. He wore simple clothes. No security team surrounded him. Nothing about him attracted attention. Yet the store manager recognized him immediately. The man happened to be one of the most successful business leaders in the country. A billionaire. The CEO of a company worth billions of dollars. Ironically, a company connected to products sold in stores just like this one. He had entered that afternoon for a routine visit while traveling through the city. He expected to spend only a few minutes inside. Instead, he found himself unable to walk away. Something about the interaction between Emma and Lily captured his attention. Perhaps it was the mother's quiet heartbreak. Perhaps it was the little girl's maturity. Or perhaps it reminded him of a memory he had spent years carrying with him. Because long before private jets, boardrooms, and business magazines, he had once been a child growing up in poverty. Few people knew that story. Even fewer knew how often his mother had gone without necessities so he could have opportunities. There had been birthdays when presents simply weren't possible. There had been Christmas mornings when expectations had to be adjusted. There had been moments when he saw the same sadness in his mother's eyes that he now saw in Emma's. And those memories came rushing back all at once. For several moments, he simply watched. Then he began walking toward them. Neither Emma nor Lily noticed. The shoppers nearby certainly didn't realize what was unfolding. The CEO stopped beside them and smiled. Lily looked up first. Emma quickly wiped her eyes, embarrassed that a stranger had witnessed such a personal moment. The man asked a simple question. "Is today your birthday?" Lily nodded. The CEO glanced toward the shelf. Then he reached for the Barbie doll. For a brief second, nobody moved. The gesture seemed almost unreal. Emma immediately understood what he was doing. And just as quickly, she felt uncomfortable. Pride isn't something people talk about often when discussing financial hardship. But for many struggling parents, accepting help can be difficult. Emma had spent years fighting to provide for her daughter on her own. She appreciated kindness, but she never wanted pity. As the CEO handed the doll toward Lily, Emma gently shook her head. She thanked him for his generosity and explained that she couldn't accept it. The surrounding shoppers listened carefully. The atmosphere inside the aisle changed. Everyone sensed that something important was happening. The CEO paused. Then he said something that would stay with Emma for years. He explained that this wasn't charity. It wasn't pity. It was simply a birthday gift. And sometimes accepting kindness allows others to honor the people who once helped them. Emma looked confused. The CEO smiled and shared a piece of his own story. He spoke about growing up with very little. He described watching his own mother struggle. He explained how she carried burdens he didn't fully understand until adulthood. As he spoke, the distance between a billionaire executive and a struggling single mother seemed to disappear. Suddenly, they were simply two people connected by a shared understanding of sacrifice. Lily listened quietly. Emma fought back tears. Even strangers nearby appeared emotional. The CEO then turned toward Lily and said something that caused the little girl to look at her mother differently. He told her that the greatest gift she would ever receive wasn't sitting on a toy shelf. It was the love of a mother who refused to quit, no matter how difficult life became. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Lily hugged her mother, and several shoppers wiped tears from their eyes. Many assumed the story would end there. A birthday gift, a touching conversation, a memory worth sharing. But the CEO wasn't finished. Before leaving, he handed Emma a business card. He explained that his foundation was launching a community initiative designed to help hardworking single parents gain access to training, employment opportunities, and financial support resources. He encouraged her to reach out. Emma thanked him politely. To be honest, she wasn't sure anything would come from it. People often make promises. Life had taught her that. Yet a week later, she decided to call. That decision changed everything. Months passed. Emma completed a professional training program through the initiative. She secured a stable position with benefits. For the first time in years, she began building savings. The constant anxiety that had followed her every day slowly started fading. Life wasn't suddenly perfect, but it became manageable. And manageable was something she hadn't experienced in a very long time. Years later, Emma would still remember the toy store. Not because of the Barbie, not because of the billionaire, but because it was the day she realized hope can arrive when you least expect it. As for Lily, she kept that Barbie for years. Eventually, she outgrew the toy. But she never outgrew the lesson. A lesson about kindness, a lesson about dignity, and a lesson about the extraordinary strength hidden inside ordinary people. Because sometimes the most powerful moments don't happen in boardrooms, on television, or in headlines. Sometimes they happen in a toy aisle, between a mother trying her best, a daughter learning gratitude, and a stranger who chose to listen when everyone else walked by. And that is why the events of that ordinary afternoon continue to inspire people today. Because while money can buy toys, opportunities, and comfort, it cannot replace compassion. And on one little girl's birthday, compassion became the gift that transformed an entire family's future. Thanks for watching. Please let us know in the comments section what you think about the story and the country you are watching from. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our next video.